out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let's hear it. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. But it's 1, 2, 3 cycle out and we all ring. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let's hear it. Good for the whole team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3.
Folks, hello. Here we are at Talkin Baseball. This is Season 10, Episode 4. Been delayed a week.
Yes. Yes, someone had a little bout with COVID last week, so we had to push the show back a week, unfortunately. So I hope you enjoyed the extra week you got of our April show, a little bonus coverage.
And, of course, my COVID partner is Jason Smith, who was spent last week in Seussical. He doesn't ordinarily dye his hair blue, but he's doing it just for this particular episode.
Yeah, this is a special blue episode for today. This is Pete Lincoln, who did not dye his hair blue for the occasion. I might keep this. You never know. Let me know what you think out there at TV Land. Should I keep the blue?
So here we are in the Paseo Studios with our trusty man Dan Seminator and Truck Debbie Lincoln. And we are in the Paseo Studios on June 5th, I believe it is today.
And about 6 clouds worth of pollen outside. The worst pollen summer we've ever had in New England right now.
So if I sound like I've been strained on razor blades, it's because I swallowed half of a pine tree.
Yeah. Yes.
So we do have good news, though. We have no obituaries in baseball to report this show. So we're going to start right out with tidbits.
Yes, yeah. First time in 6 months we haven't had an obituary.
As we told you maybe before, tidbits are just little things that went on during this past month that of interest generally to the baseball world. Yeah. And we'll start out with a very odd event. Luis Ariz, who in 2022 won the batting title with the Minnesota Twins.
There he is, right there.
At the end of the season, they traded him to the Miami Marlins, where he won a second batting title.
And
at the end of the season, they've just traded him to the Padres.
And he's
close to the lead in that too.
Close to the lead.
What is going on with Luis Ariz?
What player has ever won a batting title 3 years in a row for 3 different teams? And would that be unbelievable if that happens? I mean, what team trades a batting champ? I don't understand what was going on with that. I don't know if the Marlins were cleaning house. I don't know if the Padres gave them some huge haul. I have no idea what's going on.
Maybe by the next show, the Yankees will have picked him up.
Probably, yes.
Second tidbit, Josh Winkowski has been sent back down to the minors after a season in which he had 60 games, had an ERA of 2.88.
Yeah. And I guess the reasoning is they're stretching him out to be a starter. That's supposedly why he's in the minors. And the way this team cycles through injuries, I think they're looking for anyone who can just throw any kind of inning at this point. So I don't know.
But he's down. The shuttle between Worcester and Boston is running overtime.
Oh, the new shuttle people every day, the way things are going.
Especially Dahlbeck, I believe, is back for his 4th time.
Yes, Dahlbeck just keeps turning back up like a bad penny. In fact, he got a big two RBI single when he rejoined the team.
He comes back up, strikes out 6 times, send him back down.
Then he comes back.
Oh, here he is.
He's back again.
Then our old friend, Mr. Bogarts, is having a terrible year with the Padres. Now, he signed a $250 million contract for 10 years. He was moved to second base this year.
He was.
He currently is injured again at hitting .220 with 4 home runs.
Right.
So all you folks out there that's saying getting rid of Bogarts was a bad idea, take a look at the stats, take a look at the situation.
So far, and just to keep tabs on a few other ex-Red Sox that, people thought the earth was falling because the Sox somehow didn't bring them back. Justin Turner is currently hitting .213 with 4 homers, and he's hit 147 since April 20th. I don't quite know what happened to him. Maybe.
And the Blue Jays are in the basement at this point.
The Blue Jays cannot get out of their own way.
Knock, knock, knock.
Knock. So a couple others just to keep tab on. Christian Vasquez is currently hitting 165 with 1 homer and has a .13 OPS plus, which is hard to do. That's really hard to get that low. And here's the best one for me. Good old friend Andrew Benintendi is currently hitting .195, 4 homers, 5 doubles, minus 2.2 WAR. He is the lowest WAR position player in baseball right now. Okay. So I guess they made a right move not hanging on to him, huh?
See, Boston fans have always had an affinity for anybody on their team.
Right.
Of the 25 guys, we love them all. We don't want any of them to go.
But
well,
sometimes it's the right thing.
That's why the fans are not in the front office.
Exactly.
And the front office are not the fans.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of front office, Chaim Bloom has reemerged.
Yes.
And he is now with the Cardinals.
He is.
He's an advisor to the president of player relations.
Right.
I don't know what exactly that means.
I don't know either. It's some fancy
advise
position.
him where the nearest Dunkin' is. Right?
Well, that's why we bring Sully around. We'll send him to St. Louis. He can send them that way. And something else. There was sort of a been done once in history before. The Phillies have a pitcher named Ranger Suarez, who is having a phenomenal year. He has a 1.70 ERA, started the year 9-0. He just lost the start. But he was 9. He was the first Philly since Grover Alexander to start 9-0.
Wow.
First Philly in over 100 years to do that. Huh. So you may be looking at a Cy Young guy right there.
And as we're talking now, the Phillies have 7 or 8 game lead over the Braves for first place.
Best record in baseball.
Yes. Now here's another thing. Our good old friend Nick Pivetta tied a Red Sox record by striking out 8 consecutive batters in a game.
Yeah.
Didn't win the game.
Didn't win the game, of course.
But 8 consecutive batters, and he tied with Roger Clemens, who did it. And do you remember when he did it?
He did it the night he struck out 20 at Fenway. When
we
were there.
We
were there, 8 in a row.
And at the time, when he struck out 8 in a row, it was no big deal.
Right.
Because 20 in a game was a major deal.
Right, yeah, right. But 8 in a row is still pretty impressive. And of course, they didn't score and Pivetta lost the game. That's right. But that's a different story.
Then we have, let's see, we already talked about Angel Hernandez with no, we didn't talk about
No, Angel Hernandez, our old buddy Angel. So, Angel Hernandez, we don't know the details, but Angel Hernandez has retired. We don't know if it was forced out. We don't know what they're keeping kind of hush-hush on that. But as you know, for years we've been on good old Angel for blowing calls left and right and everything. And he finally retired, so baseball is better off for no Angel Hernandez.
But TV did the greatest thing. They strung together his worst calls.
Oh, it's
so it lasted like 15 minutes of amazingly bad calls.
Oh God! Well, the one that really made the rounds was when he struck out the guy for the Rangers. I forget which batter it was, and it was 3 straight pitches that were just. You know how they give you the box they weren't even in the box. They were just completely way outside. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. And that one even got around TikTok and social media. Even non-baseball fans were saying,
he had a hot date waiting for him.
Maybe Angelette was waiting outside the stadium for him. I don't know what was going on there. But goodbye, Angel. We don't know who's next.
Last tidbit is you folks that last time saw our Dr. Skett when we were in General Hospital, counting off all the injured Red Sox players. There's been 2 more happened recently. They're almost hard to believe.
Yeah.
Abreu fell down the stairs in the dugout.
And sprained his ankle.
And he's out on the DL for 15 days. And as the announcer said, he goes down those stairs 25 times a game.
And
what happened?
Do
we need to put in a ramp for them now?
No idea.
And the other one is the relief pitcher of the season last year,
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin is being treated for anxiety.
So we don't know what's going on with that.
He's 39. I can be anxiety about the Grim Reaper, but I can't imagine he'd be too concerned about baseball talent.
I have no idea.
Just don't get
Maybe they got him confused with the Chris Martin, who's the terrible singer. I don't know what was going on with that. Maybe that's why he has anxiety.
So those are the tidbits we've been able to figure out.
So when you thought the weird injuries couldn't happen anymore, there are 2 of the weirdest ones there for you. anymore. I think we haven't had the falling with cowboy boots on like we did with Wade Boggs.
Boggs.
We haven't had, who was the guy who fell on the glass? Paxton Crawford. We haven't had anybody fall on a glass
Bob
yet.
Stanley hurt himself carrying out the trash.
Oh, that's right.
Because a piece
That's
of
right.
glass came through.
That's right. So don't give him any ideas. I mean, come on. We don't need any other weird
Falling
injuries
on the
this
steps,
team.
though, I think that's the first.
That was a new one.
That is the first.
That was a new one.
Well, it's time now for a little word from our favorite segment, the truck.
The truck.
So here's the truck.
Hi, I'm Debbie the Truck Lincoln, back for another segment of Truck Trivia. But this time, we've added a special segment for those of you at home to find out how well you know the rules of baseball. Now, this situation would be good at any base, but just to make it exciting, we're going to call this situation at home plate. Imagine this scene. There's a runner on third, and the ball is hit to the infield, and the catcher is getting ready to get the ball from the third baseman. The runner starts for home, and the catcher gets the ball in his hand, and he tags the runner with his glove. The ball isn't in his glove, it's in his hand. Is the runner out, or is he safe? Do you know the rules of baseball? You're going to find out later in this segment. Now, more for the regular truck trivia. We have pictures here from the 50s for Pete and from the 80s for Jason. And both these players are third basemen, and they're both Red Sox Hall of Famers. And the guys have asked me to take it easy so you folks at home could play along and probably know the answers to at least one of these Hall of Fame Red Sox third basemen. Good luck at home, and keep on trucking.
All right. Okay, we're back.
And we're back. Thank
and
you for the
these
truck.
folks, see if you can identify both the pictures and the rule question on rules. That's a tough question.
Yeah, tough.
Okay, folks, these are third basemen, I understand.
Okay.
So this is a 50s third baseman,
All right.
and the next picture should be an 80s person.
Yeah, so your 50s, I made. Oh, man. Yes. We'll ponder this one now. We'll ponder these in the
Think
course
about
of the
these
show.
two.
Yes.
And at the very end of the show, we'll give you the answers
Right.
that we thought of, and hope you can get the same answer.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now, the thing that I noticed this year, we just were at a game Sunday. There are no scalpers at Fenway anymore.
Right.
Or at any venue.
Right.
It used to be as soon as you came up from the subway, there was a phalanx.
Oh, yeah.
A phalanx of scalpers all the way to the
anybody need
park.
tickets? Anybody need tickets? Need tickets.
They spare tickets. You need tickets.
Or
spare tickets.
sometimes you'd see someone going, selling tickets.
Selling
Anybody
tickets.
selling tickets?
Selling
Selling tickets?
all the way down, and it was sometimes they were selling for outrageous prices. It was a big game. Sometimes they're trying to give them away because it's the second inning.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they couldn't get rid of the tickets.
Right,
But
right.
there's no more scalpers anymore.
And it was technically illegal. On
course
the
it was.
books, it was illegal. But
course it was.
I know that a lot of police turned the other way when they saw it.
I found out later through some authorities that worked in the park, sometimes Fenway was going to have to eat the tickets themselves
Right.
and hand them out to certain scalpers
Right.
so they could get
They
a deal with
get
them
something
to
at
get something
the
back
end.
from
Right,
them.
right.
But there's no more. And I said that to an usher as we were coming into the park. He said one or two guys still managed to pass off tickets on their phones.
Really?
But
Yeah.
now it's so technically involved. You can't get a ticket anymore.
Right.
You can't get a ticket stub to collect.
Right. It's all electronic.
all
now.
on your phone.
All electronic.
And so the scalpers are gone.
And a lot of times they wait till like the day before the game or the day of to even release your ticket. You get like a barcode.
That's right.
And then the day of the game they send you something, and that day you have to show your ticket on your phone, but you have no access to whatsoever. Yeah. Here we go. Paper tickets. These are pretty much non-existent nowadays.
Yes, these are collected by the truck over many years.
Right.
And they bring back memories and
Oh, yeah,
things
sure.
that happen now.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Wait, you got something on your phone that you wipe out as soon as you're through the gate.
You know, I'm a devout Luddite. And so to know that you have to have nothing but pass a phone by a guy. And when you get to the gate, the old guy goes, bloop, bloop,
Yeah, right,
bloop,
yeah,
bloop.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and it has a little thing that toggles, and then it reads your ticket. You just go right through.
And it's not just baseball.
It's everywhere. Everywhere has that now. Yeah, it's funny. We were talking. We did something. We had a conversation about all our old concert tickets from that when we went to back in the day, and I still have all mine in a shoebox. Nothing from the last 10 years because they don't give out ticket stubs anymore. No. They just don't do it. It's all electronic.
It's too bad.
So
it's too bad.
It'd be nice to have something to take home as a memento that you were there.
I got to quickly tell my one scalper story.
Yeah.
1978, the Sox tied the end of the season with the Yankees for first place, and they had a playoff game the next day.
Right.
I was there with my son Danny, and we ran around. They announced at the end of the game, tickets are going on sale in the front office for tomorrow's game. So we sprinted around. I said, do you have any tickets left? He said, yep, I've got 5 tickets in the last row of section 9.
Oh,
I said,
wow.
they cost $6 a piece. That's what tickets cost.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
$6,
right.
$30 for 4 playoff tickets to one of the most, turned out the most famous game I ever played.
Yeah.
So when I got home, I could only find 2 other people beside Danny to go with me.
Yeah.
So we went to the game with a spare ticket.
Yeah.
So as I was walking through the parking lot, I heard somebody say, they're paying $50 for our tickets. So I said, what the hell? It'll pay for our tickets
Right.
and the gas.
And you get a profit.
And maybe a beer.
Yeah.
So this hippie-looking couple came walking up to me and said, hey, man, you got a ticket to sale? I said, yep. How much you want, man? I said, $50. Okay. So I handed him the ticket, and his girlfriend took the money, handed me the money, and I'm handing Danny the money, and get this straight. And as he started to walk away, she grabbed the money out of his hand, and the 2 of them tried to take off. Danny grabbed the girl and took the money away from him, and this is me now. This is me, the speedster. Chased this hippie through the crowd, caught him and picked him up by his ponytail right in the air. And the security from BC emerged from nowhere. Sir, because I'm a guy.
You're very threatening, yeah.
I had my school clothes on. Has this fellow been bothering you? And we went back, and Danny had gotten the money, so we let him go.
Yeah.
And then as we're walking into the park, we said, this guy's going to have to come up and sit next to us through the whole game.
Yeah. He's got the seat right
And
next
so
to him.
the second that he showed up, he sat there like this through the whole game.
Without the girlfriend?
No, the girlfriend was going, he says, the chick just freaked out, man. The chick just freaked out. And that is my one scalping experience.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's too funny.
Okay,
The chick
here
freaked
comes-
out.
This is the 50th anniversary of maybe one of the most famous moments in all of baseball history, and in a way of this nation's history.
Right.
This is the 50th anniversary of April, I think it was the 16th, that Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's career record by hitting home run number 715.
715.
Now, what he went through before that was sickening.
That was,
He had so much hate mail that he got a plaque from the post office as having more mail in Atlanta than any other person other than politicians during
and
this
it was
time.
racist death threats
Brutal,
and just
brutal,
awful,
brutal.
awful stuff.
So here's a terrific clip of that great moment in baseball where Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record.
Once again, a standing ovation for Henry Aaron. So the confrontation for the second time. Aaron walked in the second inning. He means the tying run at the plate now. So we'll see what Downing does. Al at the belt delivers, and he's low. Ball 1. And that just adds to the pressure. The crowd booing. Downing has to ignore the sound effects and stay a professional and pitch his game. 1 ball and no strikes. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. What a marvelous moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of the Braves, but by his father and mother. He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, threw her arms around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. As Aaron circled the bases, the Dodgers on the infield shook his hand, and that was a memorable moment. Aaron is being mobbed by photographers. He is holding his right hand high in the air, and for the first time in a long time, that poker face of Aaron shows the tremendous strain and relief of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth. You could not, I guess, get two more opposite men. The Babe, big and garrulous and oh so sociable, and oh so immense in all of his appetite. And then the quiet lad out of Mobile, Alabama, slender and stayed slender throughout his career. Ruth, as he put on the poundage and the paunch, the Yankees put their ball players in pinstripe uniforms because it made Ruth look slimmer. But they didn't need pinstripe uniforms for Henry Aaron in the twilight of his career. He looked almost the same as he did when he first came up 20 years ago. And so it was a memorable moment before the game, and now what a sweet moment it is here in the middle of the game. So Henry and the Babe, the two greatest home run hitters that have ever lived. And it's a marvelous, wonderful, enjoyable moment here in Atlanta. We're so happy, too, that it could be seen all over the United States, that it will be duly reported all around the world. And I'm sure films of it will be seen around the world, and you can hear Georgia around the world. Henry Aaron is now at the microphone. Henry summed it all up by saying, I thank God it's all over with. And I'm sure he has thanked God many times that he had to do it to get it all over with, as he becomes the greatest home run hitter in the history of baseball.
How about that?
Isn't that awesome? Now, little trivia note here, and I bet you know this, but maybe we can share this with TV land here. Who caught the home run out there?
It's in my notes, but
It is.
anyway.
It is, yeah.
It was by Tom House.
Tom House.
Who was
yeah.
a Red Sox pitcher later.
Yeah, and he was a pitching coach for many, many years.
right.
I think with the Texas, maybe? I
And
think?
this is
Yeah.
interesting. Sammy Davis Jr. had offered a $25,000 reward to anyone who caught the ball. But since a Brave caught the ball, he got it back for nothing.
Right.
And Tom House later on said, I think I should have at least got $10.
Yeah, right. And back then, 25 grand was a salary back then for a relief pitcher. Like,
So just by coincidence, you mean nice catch of it in the
he
bullpen?
did, yeah,
went
he
running?
really did.
Now, here's a side note that I found out about this later. If you watch this video, which is shown a couple of times, as Aaron rounds second base, two young boys come running after him, tap him on the shoulder, and Aaron sort of gives a nudge with his elbow to the one on the right, and then they sped off the field. Well, Aaron had a bodyguard. I'll read his name. His bodyguard's name was Calvin Wardlaw. and was Aaron's bodyguard. In his binocular case in the front row, he had a .38. And if anyone went out and tried to harm him, his job was to shoot the guy. So as these two kids were actually one of the local high school kids. Their names were
High school kids.
Britt Gaston and Cliff Courtenay, high school seniors from Waycross County, Georgia.
Seniors?
High school seniors.
Wow.
They ran off the field, and actually they were captured, put in jail, spent $100 fine, and Aaron had all charges dropped.
Right.
But the bodyguard had a choice to shoot these guys, thinking maybe they came out to harm Aaron or not.
Right.
And he decided not to because he said later, I might have hit Hank instead.
Yeah, right. Imagine that. Well, in fact, I believe they actually had snipers on the roof of the stadium too, in case there was anything horrible that was going to happen.
Right.
They were ordered to, like you said, take the guys out if if they felt anything was going to happen.
I mean, even his daughter, Aaron's daughter, who was in college, got death threats.
Oh, right.
It was
It's
terrible.
awful. It's
And then
awful, yeah.
what happened is that here we are at Atlanta Stadium, 50,000 white people standing up and madly cheering a black man.
Right.
In 1973.
That was an
That,
amazing.
that was one of the biggest turning points in
yeah.
racial history
Absolutely,
in the South.
absolutely.
And it was brought about by baseball.
Sure was. Yeah, that was, and Hank Aaron he's had a postage stamp made of him and everything. And he's a cultural icon. Even non-baseball fans know who Hank Aaron is. And it's funny that he was the first alphabetical player for a long time until David Arnsma came along. But the joke was, well, let's start with the greatest player ever. Put Hank Aaron first in the book because he was the best.
Actually,
player ever.
not many people know his brother played too, Tommy Aaron.
Tommy Aaron, yes,
Tommy Aaron
yeah,
played.
right.
So he was the second one.
Right.
Knocked down.
But
Well, I've got a stump Jason trivia
Oh, boy,
question
here we go.
to tie in, because the segues we use on this show are absolutely magnificent.
so
this will
just
tie
smooth
in.
transitions on
Now,
this show.
we
what
just
do.
talked about breaking Babe Ruth's career record, right?
Yes. Mhm.
When Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in 1927, whose seasonal record did he break?
Okay.
Okay.
So who did he
The answer
break
will be
when
at
he
the end of
hit
the show.
60? Okay.
When he hit 60 in 1927, he broke someone who's had the most home runs to that point.
I'm having to think on this.
Okay, so that ties in.
Yeah.
Who broke one record? Another one. All
You
right.
might have stumped me on this one.
Okay. So it's time for Fenway Memories.
Fenway Memories. Yes. Okay, so I'm going first.
Yes, you
All
can
right.
save my voice for a while.
Okay, so my Fenway memory is this. It ties into, as we said, Angel Hernandez blowing calls we talked about earlier, and that everything is under review now. As you know, everything. You can challenge plays, except for balls and strikes for some reason, which, well, that's another whole argument. But any play other than a ball and strike is reviewed 6 times, and they look at it from every angle, and they go to New York and all this other stuff. Well, I was at a game that would have created history had they used replay back then. This was in 1985. Mike Easler was with the Red Sox then. If you remember Mike Easler.
He was good.
He was very good. They got him from he was with the Pirates and the
Pirates.
Yankees.
Pirates.
And I think they traded him for Baylor later on, if I remember right. But Mike Easler had 2 grand slams 4 days apart. No one had ever hit 3 grand slams in a week. Easler comes up and hits what supposedly is a grand slam. It would have been the 3rd grand slam in a week, would have broken the record, except the ump blew the call. The ball landed in the net, and the ball bounced back on the field, and the ump called it a ground rule double.
For you younger fans, there used to be a net in
Yes,
left field.
there used to be a net. And what would happen is sometimes, and there was actually a wooden board at the bottom of the net.
To
And
secure the net,
right, and if the
right.
ball hit the board, it would bounce at a weird angle or something.
Right.
Or sometimes it would just hit the net and roll out on
right.
its own. And it took a funny hop off of the board and bounced back on the field, and the ump called it 2 bases. It was a double. And if it had been replay, it
right.
absolutely would have been a grand slam, and we would have witnessed history, 3 grand slams in a week. And as it is, it's just a little footnote now. But I think, was that Easler's only year with the Red Sox? Or
Yes.
did he have 2? 85
Yeah.
was his only year,
Yeah.
I think. And
Yeah.
And they traded him for Don Baylor.
Who was with the World Series
With
team.
the World Series team, right. And I remember that the program of 85, this goes to show how things have changed. The 85 program, if you remember, had Easler and Armas and Evans and Gedman and Rice on the front, all holding the bats up. No Boggs. I have no idea why they wouldn't include Boggs in a.
He was eating chicken.
He was eating chicken.
7-17.
But right. But typical of any 80s team, what was not featured on the cover of the program? A pitcher. These were the days of winning every game 8-7. So you can but it's in the records as 2 grand slams. Should have been 3. Easler should have had a record. We should have witnessed history.
Well, this is not my memory, but remember when Bill Miller hit a grand slam from the left side, another one from the right side?
I do.
Back to back at bats?
Yes, I do remember
Texas?
that. I remember that. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Okay, my Fenway memory goes to back to the past, once again.
Okay.
One thing I learned that sometimes women are terrific in their knowledge about baseball, like the truck Debbie is. She knows everything about baseball. And there's some women who know absolutely zero, even though they've lived with baseball maniacs, and could care less and let you know that they care less. My mother,
Oh, my God. I see where this is going. That's all I need to say.
we never took, my father and I never took my mother to a game, but my aunt and my uncle wanted to go to a game, and my aunt felt silly being the only woman, so my mother came along. And we went to a night Yankee game, and my mother cheered for everyone who hit foul balls. I said, "What are you doing? What are you cheering that for?" She says, "It's much harder to hit the ball with the back of the bat." I just, oh my God. I'm 8 years old and I'm embarrassed.
And I'm humiliated.
But the one thing she did like was the fact that I sat up every night and scored the games and listened to a radio. We didn't have TV in the house.
Right.
And so she painted me as a portrait
Oh, yeah.
simply because I was always sitting by the radio.
There it is,
That's
the
me
old style
in high
radio.
school,
Yep.
an old radio, sitting there with my bottle of homemade root beer next to me, scoring left-handed.
That
And
is
I
so
scored, I
cool.
scored every game,
That is so
wearing
cool.
my Red Sox hat.
That is awesome. And you look alone sitting there. I don't see any other family members sitting with you.
Now, there's a part 2 to this. My mother went to school in Canada, in Nova Scotia, and she made some very good friends, and one of them turned out to marry a fellow who lived in Montreal, who was the head of French instruction for the high schools in the whole city. So we went up to visit them, and because they knew that my father and I liked baseball, they took us to a game at Olympia Stadium in Montreal. And it was an afternoon game, and Montreal was playing Houston in a game. Got that? Houston in a game.
yeah.
Nolan Ryan was pitching.
Yes, that's right. Oh, it was. Oh,
Nolan
wow.
Ryan was
That's
pitching.
awesome. Oh, wow.
My mother loudly cheered throughout the game, "Go Americans! Go Americans!
There she is.
Go
Go
Americans!"
There she
And I
is.
couldn't convince her that there were no Americans probably on either team.
Probably not.
And after a while, I said, "Just go ahead." Probably half of them were Latins.
Yeah.
Go Americans!
I can picture your mother doing that. Actually.
That's my Fenway memory.
Americans. We need baseball back in Montreal. You know that?
Oh, absolutely.
I really
Absolutely.
hope they decide to bring
It's
baseball
a
back.
great city.
It really,
It's a
yeah.
great city. But we went up to see Montreal almost, I think it was the year that they finally closed, and the park was a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
They had a circus going on for 2 hours before the game.
Yeah.
So there was gum all over the place, and there were parts of the seams of
Yeah.
the thing that pulled up.
Right.
And it was just a sad place.
Well, supposedly that's what cut Vladimir Guerrero's career short, was playing on that
circuit.
cement turf.
And
right
he was
over.
not a guy that ever rested at that time either,
Right,
so he
right.
ground himself down to
Yeah, I hope it comes back. You can drink some beer froid instead of some cold beer at the park in Montreal, right?
Okay, we're going to turn now to one of the phenoms on the team this year who's done a couple remarkable things, Jared Durant.
One of the few guys who stayed healthy, too, I
So
might
far,
note.
so far.
There he is.
He has hit so far this year, including one today, just a few hours ago. He's hit 9 triples. Get it? 9 triples. He leads the majors by 3.
Yeah, right.
The second triple hitter has got 3.
Right. Then the last one who had double digits was Ellsbury. He had 10.
He had
Durant
10.
has 9 already at this point in this season.
So let me go through some of the triple records.
oh
that we
yeah,
don't
this is
talk
cool.
about.
Triple. Yeah, this is cool.
The all-time record for triples is by Joe Jackson and Sam Crawford. They had 26 in a season.
Oh,
But this is back in the dead ball era,
Right.
where triples could. The fences were out in the polo grounds almost 500
right.
feet.
Yeah, you could just hit a ball
And
and roll
sometimes
forever.
they let the crowds into the stands,
Right, yeah.
so they had to part. So triples were far more common than home runs were.
And actually, that was how you showed your power, was hitting triples, not home runs. That was much. Yeah.
In the modern day era, the record for triples is 23 in a season, held by Earl Coombs, Dale Mitchell, who was the last one that
Dale-
Don Larson struck
yes,
out
Dale
in the
Mitchell.
perfect game in
Right.
56. Dale Mitchell,
Right.
and Curtis Granderson.
Yes,
More
that's
recent.
Kurt. Yeah, Grandy Man.
Those, those 3 had
Grandy Man.
23, so that's considered the modern record for most triples in a season.
Yeah.
The record for the Red Sox was again back in the dead ball era. Tris Speaker
yes.
had 22.
Yeah, he had a ton.
But
yeah.
the modern record is just 15. And who do you think holds that?
I know that
Done in
one.
77 and 78, Jim Rice.
Jim Rice, the triple man. Amazing,
Jim
isn't
Rice.
it?
Now you look at Jim Rice. Even in his heyday, he wasn't 3-8 down the line.
No, he wouldn't know.
But he hit the ball so hard, I think sometimes it stuck into the wall
Yeah,
for a few seconds and gave him a.
Right. It was like a pinball machine when he hit it. Right. Yeah, 15 triples. That's unbelievable.
And
Yeah.
this is the fact that I still can't get over. They were talking about it when they've been talking about triples a lot on TV lately. That Jim Rice hit 79 triples in his career. Ricky Henderson, who played 1,000 games more and stole 14 million bases, had 66. If you want to win some money in a bar,
that's
ask him who
yes.
hit more triples in his career, Jim Rice
Right, yep.
or
Ricky Henderson. That's amazing.
Isn't that
right?
incredible?
Yeah, that's hard to
incredible?
believe, isn't it?
Yep.
And Ricky played for, 10 more years probably than Rice did.
Yeah, literally. Rice had 2,000 at bats. He had 3,000 at bats.
And Rice still out triple.
And of course, he walked a ton.
Right.
So official at bats, probably unofficial at bats,
Right.
probably twice as many.
Right. Wow. That is a good bar bet, people.
That's an incredible
That's
thing.
very cool. That's very
And
cool.
this also kills me. On 21st of May, through a kind of a freak play, Durant stole home.
Oh, that's right. That's
He
right.
stole
That's
home.
right.
I think what happened was somebody was running to second.
It was Devers.
Devers.
Devers was running to second.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And he held up. There was 2 outs, but he had hit the ball and was running to second. And in that case, if somebody can score before he's tagged out,
Right.
the run counts.
Right.
So Devers saw it was happening, backed up.
And he just stopped it, went
And-
the other direction.
And
right,
instead
yeah.
of throwing immediately home, the second baseman ran after Devers.
Yep.
He came home. That counts as a steal of home.
Yeah.
And it's the first time, you told me, since the first steal of home since, who was it?
Travis Shaw.
Travis Shaw.
Travis Shaw, 2016
Travis Shaw.
was it?
2016. You people remember Travis Shaw? He was 5'6" to first base. I don't know the circumstances.
I don't know either.
Travis Shaw.
Well, but the coolest one that I remember was, of course, Ellsbury's the straight steal when Pettit was pitching, and he just took off. That was just on his own. That wasn't like the Devers one where he got caught in a rundown. That was just a straight steal of home.
It's strange. So many people in the old days stole home
Right.
than they do now.
Yeah.
I don't quite figure that out.
Especially
Ty
the-
Cobb stole home usually twice a game.
Yeah,
And Jackie Robinson had the famous steal
the
home. in
famous
50
with the
50
upgoing save,
and
save,
Yogi
save.
Berra
yeah.
having a heart
Yeah,
attack.
right.
But they never tried to do that anymore.
Yeah.
We were at a game the other day where they were shifted way, way over as much as they could.
Yeah.
Third baseman was past the shortstop position, and the runner was 2/3 of the way down the line,
Yeah.
trying to rattle the pitcher.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
it's a no-no. Just like the sacrifice bunt is a no-no.
It just has gone away.
Dropping
I
a
don't know
ball
why.
down for a hit. I think Lugo did that once this year, and I think the Fenway people left. I don't understand that. play.
What's that a
What's
bunt? What's that a bunt? My goodness, what is that? Actually, McGuire tried one today, and it was not very successful. So.
Okay, now there's another feat that happened as a first for the Red Sox.
Yes.
And we have a great clip on
Yeah, here
this
we go.
one.
Here's a clip for this.
Tough night for Devers. He struck out. He's hit into a double play that smashed to third. There's a drive to center field. Good one on this one. Series back, and that ball gets out. Home run, Rafi Devers. A wicked line drive carrying over the center field wall, and the Red Sox are within one. It's a high drive into left field. Rosarena looking up, and that ball is going to get out of here. That's a home run for Rafi Devers on consecutive nights. He goes the other way this time, and the Red Sox quickly tie it. He will swing and drive this one high and deep to right center field. That is going to sail. Back it goes, way out of here.
Into the seats for Rafael Devers with home run number 7. He is really starting to heat up for the Red Sox.
Here's a swing and a drive out to center field. Racing back Siani. Turning around. Watch it go. That one is gone. He's done it in 4 consecutive games, and he has tied it up. Rafi Devers on a home run binge.
Neal takes off, and this one towering high in the air toward right center. Siani as far as he can go, and the wall won't get it. Devers has homered in his 5th straight game.
Holy moly. How long does this go? When with a kid like this, you just never know.
He has homered in 5 consecutive games. Bobby Dahlbeck, Jose Canseco, George Scott, Dick Stewart, Ted Williams, and Jimmy Fox have also done it. Here's a drive, sucked the other way to left field deep. Palacios back. It is gone! Rafi Devers has done it. He has set a new Red Sox record by homering in 6 consecutive games.
History. We're looking at Red Sox history. This has never happened in the history of the Boston Red Sox.
How about that?
Isn't that awesome?
How about that? And what kills me about Devers is that he used to always pull the ball.
Yeah.
Now he never does. He's so smart to learn that. You throw a low outside pitch to him, which usually lefties, like any lefty I can remember, that's the pitch even I couldn't hit when I was playing ball.
Right.
I mean, even I.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Illustrious career.
It was he just lifts it like Boggs used to do.
Right.
Over the wall.
Yep.
So 6 consecutive games, he hit a home run. That's never been done by a Red Sox.
First Red Sox ever. In fact, it was funny. They were having an interview with Duran after the game today, and they said, so, Jared, how would you like to be Devers and, be a lefty and be able to take a ball with backspin and still hit it over the wall? He says, yeah, it pisses me off when he does that. That's exactly what Duran said.
So let's talk about consecutive home runs. The record in the league, the majors, is 8 consecutive games.
Yes.
And when I was a kid collecting baseball cards, I got a Dale Long card.
Yes,
who
Dale
played
Long.
for the Pirates.
Yeah.
And in 1956, where I was sophomore in high school, I got a pack of cards. On the back, it said Dale Long has the record for consecutive homers. I never forgot it. I don't know why. Dale Long was a mediocre first baseman
Yeah, it was
for
just
the
a
Pirates.
fluke thing.
He's been tied twice.
I remember the first one who tied it. Donnie Baseball.
Donnie
Baseball. I remember
Yep.
when that happened.
And then Junior Griffey did
Yes,
it after that.
Griffey did it too.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
So 3 guys have done it 8 times.
This is pretty amazing when you think about it. I mean, 8. Some guys be happy to hit 8 homers in a season. They do it 8 games.
Here's
in
a weird
row.
fact about Dale Long. For 3 games, he caught.
Really?
He's the first lefty catcher in a game since 1902.
Yeah. Wow. That's I
A
did
couple
not know
of guys
that.
have done
Wow.
that in emergency since.
Right, yeah,
But
but-
he's the first guy in 54 years
Yeah.
to catch left-handed.
That is so weird. I'm trying to.
There's no record on how well he did.
Yeah.
Because I remember Mike Greenwell caught one.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was.
Remember that?
Oh God, that was awful. Didn't he have 3 passed balls and he made an error and they just ran? Didn't the other team get like 7 runs that inning because he just was
brutal.
dropping everything?
It was like Remy playing right field.
Wasn't there? Didn't Mike Squires do that? He was a lefty like that went. I thought he played every position. I thought he was a lefty.
Oh,
catcher
I
at
remember there
some
was
point.
one Latin player that played all.
Oh,
9
Akendo.
positions.
Akendo
Yes.
did it. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Jose Akendo.
Just for a gimmick at the end of the season.
right. He played every
played
position.
all 9 positions.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But that doesn't really count.
No,
because
that was.
there are 6 players that have had 7-game streaks, and 26 have also hit 6. But this is the killer. Barry Bonds hit 6 twice and 7 once. So he's had 3 streaks. 3 strings.
He's just he was ridiculous. Oh,
I
God.
told you that he broke the Red Sox record. Devers did with 6.
Yeah.
There were 5 guys that had, 6 guys that had 5.
Yeah.
Now look at who they were.
Oh, I know one of them.
Okay.
Jose Canseco was one of
Right.
them. I know he did it.
Okay.
I know he did.
First was Jimmy Fox.
Yeah.
Who hit 534
Right.
homers.
That's yeah.
The second was Ted Williams. He had 521 homers. The third was Dick Stewart.
Dick Stewart.
He had
Yes.
225. George Scott, 277. Canseco, 242. And ready for this? Bobby Dahlback.
Hey, there
with
he is again.
46.
We
46, 46, but 5 days in a row. And you know when he did it? 2020 when there was no one in the stands.
Right. We can't get through a show without Dahlbeck popping up somewhere, can we? Oh my God. It's unbelievable. Imagine that Dahlbeck homered 5 games in a row.
But there was nobody there.
Nobody was there.
So
Nobody
cheered when he did
it really happen if there was no one in the stands? No. We got to wrap this up. We only have a few more minutes left. So,
Well, it's time now for our let's see. It's time to a visit from Sully, who's
yes.
back to see us again.
Yeah.
So here's our Sully visit.
Sully visit.
Sully from Revere.
How's it going, my friend?
My main man.
All right, how's it going? Left over, man.
Always-
Left over.
Always glad
left
to
over.
see you. Okay.
Yeah.
Always glad to see you because you never know if you've been freed from prison or freed from Revere.
Well,
or
you know-
freed from dunks.
Well, if I went 50 feet that way, the ankle bracelet would start beeping. So, it's I'm happy to be here.
You can stay right here. And all this time we've been talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know if you ever went through Chelsea High or Revere High. Which was it?
Officially, I graduated from Revere High, but I was not allowed at graduation. So they kind of barred me from going because I may or may not have made something in the metal shop that resembled something where you put an illicit substance in and it blows smoke out. I may or may not have done that.
Right.
They think I did that, and they said you can't graduate with the class. I got the paper, but I didn't get to walk through.
I understood you spent the day in Revere Beach.
Yeah, I was wearing my cap and gown just to celebrate. Yeah.
And then what else I found out? John Cazale is from Revere.
I know. John Cazale, he's a wonderful Italian guy. The Godfather, seen it a million times. Fred, how can you not love Fredo? I mean, come on. John Cazale, what a great actor. It's too bad that he died. 6 for 6 in Oscar nominations for his career. Can you believe that? Amazing dude.
It's a goal for you.
And yeah, I'm never too late to start a film career. I'm taking applications. If you need a part for Sully, hey, I'm right here.
Okay, couple baseball questions.
All
Now,
right.
I understand that Nike is in charge of all the baseball uniforms, and the players' union is protesting because they're see-through.
Well, they actually asked me to model when they were first coming out with them, and I said, I'm happy to show it off. If you got the goods, you show it right under the uniform. It gets extra, sells extra tickets. It appeals to the ladies and the men if you're into that kind of thing. I don't judge. But I'm all for it. If it gets gets extra eyes at the ballpark, hey, show it off if you got it. Hey, fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tell the players that.
Yeah, all right.
And just one other baseball question.
Mm-hmm.
You've talked a lot for a lot of years on this show about our friend Angel Hernandez. Angel Hernandez is now gone to Neverland.
Oh, he's gone to umpire heaven. Thank God. Oh man, how many calls did that guy blow over the course of his career? Oh dear, strike 3, Angel. What the hell's wrong with you, Angel? Jesus, come on. Sully's pro-union, but hey, when you're protecting a guy like that, that's a union breaker right there. I'm sorry, you got to step in, and the steward's got to say you're out of here.
Well,
man. Come on.
You should be a happy man now.
Oh, I'll take his place. I'm very happy about that.
So we don't have much time, but anything you'd like to say to your
Oh,
public out here?
summer's upon us. It's June now, which means, okay, I work at Dunkin's, okay, which means when it's summer, Starbucks comes out with all these froofy new drinks they got for the summertime. They got like cappuccino and frappuccino and superccino.
Crappuccino.
The only Pacino I want near me is Al Pacino, okay? Say hello to my little friend. A lot of ladies heard that in Revere back in the day from Sully. Worked pretty well, if you know what I mean. Not so, no, that's wasn't so little back then, if you know what I mean. But, that's what, so don't do these froofy drinks at Starbucks. Come into Dunks, just get a freaking coffee. All right, get it iced or hot. Easy. That's what we got. Iced or hot. Come on into Dunkin's, iced hot. That's it. Summertime. No frou-free drinks. And you know what? I got my Nintendo shirt here, classically trained. Okay. Up, down, left, right, BA start. You know what I'm talking about, old school. None of this Mortal Kombat when you got buttons up here and you're ripping heads off and throwing it and killing your opponents. No. Give me the old school Donkey Kong with like the 2 buttons and the little press thing. That's what he got. No, come on. Classically trained. Come on.
So
old school.
Always glad to see you.
All right, my friend.
Always
Always good to see you. And I'll see you next month. We'll talk about some more good stuff.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Go Sox.
There he is. There's our old pal. There's our pal.
He's still free.
I can't believe he's still out there. I mean, it makes me want to go to Dunks and order something.
Well, I understand that the Revere Dunks is the most popular in New England.
That's why.
And I think they're thinking of putting out a Sully donut.
Well,
So if he has a say in it, what do you think he'd choose?
It's a Sully donut. I don't know. Probably plain. It'd be too froofy if there was anything on it. I don't know.
Possibly.
Okay. Well, we could get them to sponsor us.
Anyway, we're nearing the end, so it's time now for the answers to our truck questions and our trivia question for Jason. So here's the pictures back again for us to guess first, see if you got them. Okay, here's the first one. That's Frank Malzone, third baseman for the Red Sox.
There he is.
And my wife had a connection with him because she went to a game
There he is.
sitting with a friend of hers, and they were sitting next to Frank Malzone's son.
That's so cool.
That's not right? I guess I don't get the connection. They sat next to somebody's son. I don't. Oh, that's right. I don't know the answer. So she can tell you next time.
But there he is. There's Frank Malzone.
Yeah.
So, and Frank Malzone was their only All-Star several times because they were pretty terrible in the '50s, and it was sort of like when Scott Cooper got picked, right? They had to pick somebody from the Sox, so Malzone went.
He was terrific.
Yeah, he was.
terrific.
Malzone and Williams, and not much else in those years.
That's right.
So, and
Mine. Here's Jason's quiz.
Mine, I know. That is the Chicken Man himself, Wade Boggs. And I actually met Wade Boggs when I was, about 7 or 8 probably. He was a rookie. It was his rookie year,
Well,
I believe.
I think you'll see it
There he
now.
is. Oh, there he is. There he is. I don't know if there is beer in that cup. I can't verify whether, because supposedly Boggs has the record for most beers drunk on one flight. But there he is, the Chicken Man, before he was a batting champ. He had
Right.
just come up, and
Right.
So that's me with a Hall of Famer right there.
I think that was done. Wasn't that down in South Shore somewhere?
I think it was. It was. Yes, it was. Yeah.
And so the question that I asked was, when Babe Ruth hit
I should know this.
60 home runs in 1927,
I should know
he
this.
broke someone's record, the extant record.
I should know this.
And you're going to be ashamed of yourself when I tell you the answer.
I am going to be ashamed. It was, oh God, I want to say it's Home Run Baker, but it's not Home Run Baker, is it?
It was Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth in 1920.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Babe Ruth broke his own
hit
record.
59 in
yeah.
1921,
Okay,
and he broke his own record.
okay.
So-
So that's the question. Babe
Okay.
Ruth broke his own record. And,
Read what the truck is.
and we also have to give the answer to our baseball rules question.
Oh, yes.
From the truck, so you can participate at home.
I'm
and see
sorry,
if you-
folks. It's a hot day.
It's a hot day, and we're
He-
inhaling pollen.
And his blue hair is driving me crazy. So the answer to that is the fellow is safe.
He is safe. He is safe. So
No, he's not.
oh, Marjorie Shufro was sitting next to Frank Malzone's son. If that rings a bell.
No, he's not safe. He's out.
He's what?
The guy's out, right?
Oh, for our baseball rule. I thought you were
Baseball
doing
rule.
something.
No.
Sorry, the truck was giving us something else. Sorry. Yes, the batter is out.
Batter's out. You touch the ball. If you're holding the ball, you can touch him with anything, your foot or anything.
Yeah, it counts as a part of your body. So you can have the ball out here. If I tag you, you are out.
That's right.
So, that's something for you at home.
And
so.
I bet every time that happens, there's a ferocious argument.
I'm sure there is.
I thought I knew every baseball rule.
Yeah, that was
I didn't
that
know
was good one. That was a good one for me. So,
Okay.
but we are very much up against the clock here, folks.
So,
we're actually a couple minutes over.
We probably have
so.
screwed up a few things timing in this show.
Yeah.
I hope next
There's
show
be some judicious editing for this show.
and maybe the pollen will subside a bit. But in any case, thanks so much to Dan Seminator for all the setup he's had to do tonight.
And saving us.
And thanks again.
Keeping us on the rails.
The truck is now double duty and triple duty now, trying to get us online, holding up notes I can't read. And, in any case, we're going to be back in 3 weeks.
We are going to be back in 3 weeks.
So I guarantee
hopefully some good stuff happens between now and
I
then.
don't want anyone else to pass away.
And I will not get COVID for next show.
And Sully will tell.
that.
We're going to have Sully on to tell us what kind of donut is going to be named.
All
after
right,
him.
we'll have to. Yeah,
So
we'll
until
have to
then,
page
folks,
him.
see
Take
you
care.
and on. Take care.
All
Go
right.
Sox.
Bye all.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes around and we all in. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the whole team. If they don't win, it's a